Tomato farming is a rewarding pursuit, whether you're a seasoned grower or just starting out. Yet, even the most diligent farmers can run into challenges that threaten the health of their crops and the size of their harvest. In this video, we'll be exploring the top 5 mistakes to avoid in tomato farming, drawing on expert advice and proven techniques to help you cultivate vibrant, productive plants. If you want to maximize your tomato yield, reduce losses, and grow fresher, tastier tomatoes, listen closely. These tips could make all the difference. First up, let's talk about one of the most common and costly errors: choosing the wrong tomato variety for your climate and soil. Tomatoes come in hundreds of varieties, each with its own requirements and strengths. Some thrive in hot, dry conditions, while others prefer cooler temperatures or are resistant to specific diseases. Before planting, always research which tomato types perform best in your region. Consider factors like temperature range, humidity, and disease prevalence. For example, heirloom varieties might offer exceptional flavor, but many are more vulnerable to blight. Hybrid varieties, on the other hand, often boast greater disease resistance and higher yields. Consult with local agricultural experts, extension officers, or trusted seed suppliers for recommendations. By choosing the right variety, you'll set your tomato farm up for a healthy, resilient season. The second mistake to avoid is poor soil preparation. Tomatoes are heavy feeders, demanding nutrient-rich, well-draining soil with a neutral to slightly acidic pH, ideally between 6.0 and 6.8. Neglecting soil health can stunt growth and reduce fruit quality. Before planting, test your soil to determine its pH and nutrient levels. Amend the soil with organic matter like compost or well-rotted manure to boost fertility. If your soil is too acidic, add lime. If it's too alkaline, use sulfur. Ensure the field is free of large clumps, stones, and debris. Good soil structure is essential for root development and water retention. Don't forget to rotate crops. Planting tomatoes in the same spot year after year invites soil-borne diseases and pests. Instead, rotate with crops like legumes or cereals to maintain soil health and reduce disease risk. The third mistake is improper watering. Tomatoes need consistent moisture, but too much or too little can spell disaster. Overwatering leads to root rot and fungal diseases, while underwatering causes blossom end rot, splitting, and poor fruit set. The key is to keep the soil evenly moist, especially during flowering and fruiting. Drip irrigation is ideal, delivering water directly to the roots and minimizing the risk of foliar diseases. Avoid overhead watering, which can spread fungal spores and increase humidity around the plants. Water early in the morning to give leaves time to dry. Mulching with straw or grass clippings helps retain soil moisture and keeps weeds at bay. Always monitor your plants and adjust watering based on weather conditions. Hot, dry spells require more frequent watering, while rainy periods may warrant less. The fourth mistake is neglecting pest and disease management. Tomatoes are susceptible to a range of pests, including aphids, whiteflies, tomato hornworms, and nematodes. Diseases like early blight, late blight, and bacterial wilt can devastate a crop if left unchecked. Integrated pest management is crucial. Inspect your plants regularly for signs of trouble, such as yellowing leaves, holes, or unusual spots. Remove diseased foliage promptly and destroy it. Never compost infected material. Use organic or chemical controls judiciously, always following recommended dosages and timing. Beneficial insects like ladybugs and lacewings can help control pests naturally. Crop rotation, resistant varieties, and good farm hygiene all reduce disease risk. Remember, prevention is always easier than cure. Healthy, stress-free plants are less likely to succumb to pests and diseases, so keep your tomatoes vigorous and well-nourished. The fifth and final mistake is ignoring proper pruning and staking techniques. Tomatoes are vigorous growers, and without support, their branches can sprawl across the ground, inviting disease and making harvesting difficult. Pruning helps focus the plant's energy on fruit production rather than excessive foliage. Remove suckers, the small shoots that appear in the leaf axils regularly, especially for indeterminate varieties. This improves air circulation and sunlight penetration, reducing the risk of fungal diseases. Staking or caging provides vertical support, keeping fruit off the soil and making watering and harvesting easier. Tie plants gently with soft material to avoid cutting into the stems. Well-pruned and supported tomato plants yield larger, cleaner, and more flavorful fruit. Let's recap these top 5 tomato farming mistakes to avoid. First, always choose the right tomato variety for your local conditions. Second, invest in thorough soil preparation, testing and amending as needed. Third, practice consistent, appropriate watering, using drip irrigation and mulching to keep moisture levels steady. Fourth, stay vigilant with pest and disease management, using integrated techniques and resistant varieties. Fifth, remember to prune and support your plants to maximize yield and minimize problems. But successful tomato farming doesn't end here. To achieve truly exceptional results, pay attention to ongoing maintenance throughout the season. Regularly scout your fields, keep records of plant performance, and adjust your practices as needed. Watch for nutrient deficiencies. Yellowing leaves may indicate a lack of nitrogen or potassium, while purpling can signal phosphorus shortages. Foliar feeding and side dressing with balanced fertilizers can help correct these issues. Harvesting is also an art. Pick tomatoes when they reach full color, but are still firm, usually just before they soften fully. Avoid harvesting in the hottest part of the day, as this can cause fruit stress. Handle tomatoes gently to prevent bruising and store them in a cool, shaded place. If you're aiming for organic tomato farming, many of these principles still apply. Focus on building healthy soil, using compost and green manure to enrich fertility. Encourage biodiversity by planting companion crops like basil or marigold, which can repel pests and attract beneficial insects. Avoid synthetic chemicals and opt for organic-approved pest and disease controls. Marketing your tomatoes is the final step. Whether you're selling locally or online, emphasize quality, freshness, and flavor. Share your farming story with customers. People love knowing where their food comes from. Offer samples, bundle tomatoes with fresh herbs, or suggest recipes to boost sales. Tomato farming is both a science and an art. By avoiding these 5 common mistakes, you'll be on your way to healthier plants, higher yields, and tastier tomatoes. Remember, every farm is unique, so observe, experiment, and adapt your approach. Stay curious, stay diligent, and enjoy the process. If you found these tips helpful, consider sharing them with fellow growers, subscribing for more smart agriculture insights, and leaving a comment with your own tomato farming experiences. With careful planning and attention, your next tomato harvest could be your best yet. Thank you for joining Smart Agri Hub, wishing you a bountiful, successful season ahead.